keep you waiting now. I like to keep people guessing.
Delayed gratification.
As to whether we've trashed the laptop again or not. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to the Liam and Joe Show. Joe had a lovely day off on Tuesday. He's now back with us for the Liam and Joe Show. Hopefully you can hear us all fine, everything's working. We actually haven't done my normal test routine because we've been talking about other bits and bobs today because we're still pretty pumped after Fest. If you watched the channel last night, I did a little bit of a review about Fest, why I loved it, things I didn't like. That was from my perspective. Joe had a very different experience. So I rocked up on just the Saturday and I was hanging out on the Saturday, meeting people, walking around the venue. Joe, however, Joe played in the GT this weekend. Yeah. And did you, Joe, manage the 9 games that you promised?
No.
No. Didn't do the 9 games.
No, I didn't do it.
But to be fair, you played a lot of games.
I played 7
in
the end. So Sunday morning, Sunday night, I was shattered.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Both physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And I laid in bed looking at the NCP car park website and I was like, do I get parking tomorrow? Or do I drive home and save like 30 quid?
Yeah.
I was like, I really want to do it. I said to the people, the internet people, I'm going to do 9 games. And then I woke up on Monday morning at about 5 with the world's most crippling headache. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to go home. But I said, no, I pay for parking. I'm going to do it. And then my headache continued after what would probably be described as an overdose of paracetamol. But paracetamol monster gets it. But I got there and I was like, ready. And the headache continued. And I thought, I'm going to do today as knockout series.
Yeah.
If I win, I'll stay.
Yeah.
If I lose, I'll go.
And we'll explain more about that in just a moment because we'll talk about how Joe's weekend went on. First of all, if you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you smash all those magical buttons for us. Hit that like button if you like the content. Subscribe if you haven't already. YouTube's still showing us 30+% of people watching are not subscribers. It's free. Click it. Makes us feel more important. And hit that bell notification icon if you have not already to be notified every single time we go live or drop a new video, typically when we go live. But considering Fest, I would imagine at some point in the near future, the channel is going to have a ton of 10th edition based content showcasing the new game to you. Maybe we'll even do some teaching of the new game to you, etc., etc. I would imagine most of it will predominantly be live, and we'll try and make sure it's in a format whereby watching it on demand isn't too painful. So get hyped for that. We're excited, but you need that bell notification icon on, or you can become a member to do that. Now, caveat, over the last month and a half of the roller coaster that was my life, people were incredibly generous and people donated a ton of memberships, which is absolutely amazing. Joe and I just looked at the memberships. We've had a 1,000 member drop in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So where gifted memberships have run out and people haven't renewed.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not going to take that personally. 1,000 people think we're not good enough.
Yeah. So, if you've been gifted a membership and you did enjoy it, please think about actually becoming a member all by yourself rather than relying on gifts. Otherwise, you can support the channel by gifting memberships and super chatting. Both incredible ways of supporting us, both me and Joe and the team. And a big shout out to Chaotic Failure, Dan Skippy and Tyler Troutman, who have already gifted 5 each. So that's 15 new members. 15. Not quite the 1,000.
985 to go. There we go. That's our target for tonight.
But thank you so much to you beautiful people for doing that. It's amazing. Right, so I talked to you a little bit yesterday about my experience, how I turned up at 8:20, had to queue for my 3-day pass, eventually got in at 9, missed the previews, etc. You were different because you were playing in the GT.
Yeah.
So how was it for you, Joe?
So I turned up, right, and I was confronted by lots of people in high-vis coats and jackets, and the first person was like, "Are you a 3-day pass?" And I was like, "Yes, I've got a 3-day pass." I showed him my thing. It was into the 3-day pass queue. I was like, off I go, and then lots of this involved getting there, stood in the queue. Just like, and I was like, no one here's got boxes or cases. And I saw lots of people coming over and going into other queues. I was like, they've got boxes and stuff. They look like they're probably doing the tournament. And I was looking around, and there was another wall that said tournament.
Yeah.
And I said to the guy, I've got a 3-day tournament one. He said, yeah, you're in the 3-day, you're in there. I was like, I'm the only one.
Yeah, you're not.
And then more people came. And then what we did is we got together, group mentality. We did a breakout, a surge. We just opened the barricades and went into the other queue and queued there.
Nice. Desperate breakout.
Desperate breakout.
Yeah,
so we were queued, and we went and got all of our things. The queue, the thing is, it wasn't bad because it was pre-registration.
Yeah.
Which you would assume sped things up on a Saturday. No.
I was legitimately concerned, actually, that some people weren't going to get in time for the start of the event, for the tournament.
Yeah, we literally, I had a couple friends who turned up late, or turned up on time, should we say, for Saturday morning, and they were literally sprinting in after they'd announced the first round. But yeah. But should I go through the stuff that you get?
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that stuff.
But the queuing wise to get in, I can understand that. Obviously, you got to check bags. It's a big event. Lots of people are coming in with unmarked bags and boxes.
So we were there on the Friday evening.
Yeah.
And there was a check-in desk at the Friday evening for pre-registration. Now, as far as I'm concerned, they should have given you the tag.
Yeah.
And then on the Saturday morning, you should have been able to rock up and gone tag straight through.
Well, that's what the guy who I got all the stuff from. He was like, I was like, what do these mean? And he's like, you've pre-registered. You don't have to register in the morning, which means you can just walk straight in.
Yeah, which is, I mean, logical, right?
Yeah.
So we've got a huge pre-registration window on the Friday night to just take the stress off of tournament players on the Saturday morning who don't want to miss round one.
Well, what happened is that what it meant was that you all got into the same queue for the tournaments, whether you registered or not, which was a massive queue, and then when you went in through the double doors, the difference is that if you'd pre-registered, you didn't have to join another queue.
Yeah.
Because there was a queue within a queue inside.
Course. I mean, that's very much just Warhammer Fest.
Yeah. Yeah. Queues, it was like queueception, wasn't it?
Yeah. So before we get into that stuff, Joe, we'll talk about that in a moment. So basically, because he had a 3-day pass, Joe got some bonuses, some pretty things. Yeah. He decided to lay out in front of himself what he took for the weekend, his flesh tearers, which we'll talk through the list very, very briefly. I'm not a boy with details. It's not that kind of Warhammer Fest review. We'll go, this game, I played this person. Oh, my God.
Turn 1, game 3.
And I went first, and oh, fuck off.
I rolled a dice, I rolled a 2. And then I rolled it again, and it was a 4. Not one of those.
So he got given a box and some stuff and some things. We'll go into that, but briefly, we will jump into chat because it's actually erupted a little bit. Although losing 1,000 members from gifts is a painful experience, chat, I was joking. You don't need to just try and boost it today, right? But thank you anyway.
No.
Jacob super chatted.
900 today.
Thanks for the 5. Morning, guys. I'm sure Joe can't contain himself with the CSM article coming in 30 minutes. Safe to say, team, if that CSM article comes whilst we're on stream, which I'm expecting it will do, we will be looking at it live.
If someone can let us know when it drops.
We will be looking at it live, right?
We'll look at it live, yeah.
And he says, love the content, keep it up. We're both excited for CSM, hoping that they don't decide to shaft them again in 10th edition. Nightwolf, welcome to the channel. He's become a Jarl.
Jarl, what are y'all talking about?
Yep, Jarl, ready for this? Thanks, Nick Ames. He said, I held your box while you ran back. Now, I have a problem with this super chat. Don't believe you ran anywhere.
It was more of like a
canter.
A brisk stride. A trot. Yeah, basically, he was like, I was in the wrong queue and he stood there with his partner and he was like, you look lost. And I was like, I am lost. Yeah. I'm so confused. And he basically, to stop me having to do the slalom, which was like, it felt like 1/4 mile, go all the way back without my box, he held it and then let me run.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for the TOA, Nick. You're a hero. Craftful Altonsar gifted 5 legend. Aaron 580 Railways gifted 5 legend. Big thick Daddy John McCardle comes in with 20.
Daddy Cardle comes
in with 20. What legend? I'm assuming that's because Google have got him on some kind of restriction already, because that's what happens with Big Daddy John McCardle. Yeah. Nightwolf gifted 5. Thank you. 52 new members already, Joe.
52. Only 948.
Now, chat. Right. There's 260 people in their chat right now. I'm gonna open up into a little secret right now. I would love. Honestly mean this as well. I would love for the Liam and Joe show to get more total new members than chat plays with fucking Eddie on it.
I'd forgotten that he was coming until I was living in blissful ignorance when I drove here in the sun with my sunglasses on and I went to the kitchen and Luce was like, oh, you looking forward to seeing Eddie? And I was like, no!
Yeah. So if we can have more memberships on this one, and I don't, at the moment, chat, I'll be honest with you, after complaining about losing 1,000 members in the last 2 weeks, I don't care if that means no one gifts tonight. Yeah. Just so that we don't get more members on a night stream of Eddie than we do. Anyway, I'd rather me and Joe did better. We're the faces, right? Anyway, thank you for the gifts, you legends, anyway. Nightwolf then gifted 5, Hero. Drapkin gifted 1, Steve Witham gifted 5. Big Bacon Sign says, well done, John. Your fest results. Loved the show last night, Liam. You guys keep me sane whilst at work. Love you guys. Thank you so much, man. You're a hero. Thank you for all the kind words over the last, I don't know how long, is amazing. Thank you so much. Girlfriend said you had the most Votan run ever. Says just 3 inches.
It's like natural sprinters, like dwarfs.
Yeah.
You know?
Pip, you legend, thank you for the 5. Been a while since I could do this, but was great to meet Joe. You guys were impossible to find. You need brighter shirts.
Pip had a nice chat because he called me at the end of the event whilst my mate Dan was waiting for them to judge the best army. Yeah. They took their time on that, but it didn't mean that Pip got a good hour and a bit just chatting.
I'll be honest with you, I was swarmed Saturday, so you might not have seen me amongst a sea of people. I'm not complaining, it was amazing.
It was really nice to meet lots and lots of nice people. It was really good. There's some people that I had nice long chats with, and there are some people like, hi, how you doing? And then they kind of, there were some people that wanted to have long chats, but they always caught me as I was going to the toilet. I feel like
which is every 20 minutes.
They're like, Joe likes to wee, so we'll wait here. He's bound to come to one of them.
I said last night, it was mildly overwhelming, but mostly just incredibly humbling, the amount of people that come to the
It was really nice. There was there's 2 lads who caught me on my way to the toilet, and I said hi, and they said I was the favourite.
I mean, a lot of people told me that, Joe.
I don't get it, but it's very nice to hear. And then I thought I'd go and talk to them on the way out, and when I came back, they're gone.
I've said this often, right? I feel like I'm Marmite, okay? So the famous catchphrase from Marmite is love it or hate it.
Tari.
And you're jam.
Everyone
loves jam. So I've said that before myself anyway.
I'm a big jam fan.
John, CSM faction has leaked early. They're going back to 1 wound to speed up losses to loyalists, and their leadership is 10+, and they can only take battle shock on a 1d6.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. I've said multiple times that after the update and the points increase, I'd want to go back to the old codex. I'd rather have 23-point Terminators with 2 wounds.
Yeah, but thank you for the super chats.
Thank you.
Massive thank you for all the gifted memberships. It's amazing. You guys always knock it out of the park. And we stand here and do this because we love it, but also because you guys are just incredible. So it inspires us to keep going. Anyway, first thing we'll talk about, Joe, before we get into your army. Right, well, in fact, let's talk about your army quickly. So we've seen a variant of this list on the channel before, right?
Yeah.
But very, very briefly, very quickly, without boring detail, what's in it?
Seth, Chaplain, Apothecary, Librarian, 2 Judicas, and a Bannerman.
Love it. All the characters. Hero Hammer.
7 characters.
Hero
it's
Hammer.
Great. 12 Blade Guard and 2 units of 6.
Yep.
10 Assault Intercessors and 2 units of 5. 1 unit of 5 Thunderhammer Death Company of Jump Packs. And 3 Thick Daddy Boys. Brutalis. I had to take 3 because Ginger Steve was like, I've got you one, you have to use it.
So 3 Brutalis, all run as Flesh Terrors using Flesh Terror rules.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to, because you've got Seth.
Yeah, no relics.
No relics. Any Warlord traits?
Seth's got his Warlord trait because he's the Chapter Master. It would be more competitive if I didn't give him his Warlord trait and put it on a Judica, but I was like, no! Chapter Master. He's in charge, he gets his Warlord trait.
So we took Hero Hammer, loads of characters, and a narrative army.
Essentially. Basically, all the characters represent the characters from the Flesh Terrors book.
How did game 1 go, Joe?
Terribly.
You lost.
I lost horribly. Lovely lad. Like I say, I've spoken to a lot of people that went to events, and I had one awful opponent and then a couple bad ones, and that kind of for a lot of people I spoke to, every single one of my opponents, heroes.
Yeah.
One and all. Beautiful. Every single game was amazing.
So lost first game.
Lost the first game.
How did game 2 to 6 go, Joe?
I won all of them.
Oh, you won all of them? What?
Yes. Yeah, I won all of them. Do you know how you win on a Sunday? You win all 3 games on a Sunday, and
I don't know how you do that.
Guaranteed, right? This won't happen for everyone. I saw on my walk in, because I didn't want to get a taxi, I didn't want to spend my travel. I walked from my hotel, it was 25 minutes, right? I saw a fox, right? Just walking along, and then behind this little caged house thing. Fence, that's what they call caged house thing, a fence around a house. There's a fox who just stood there. I took photos of him.
Okay.
I called him Seth.
Okay.
Right, and I got really close. I could have touched him because he was that close, but I didn't want to get tetanus right before I go into a tournament.
No, I mean,
so,
you probably get
I was like, this is a good omen. He is red. My army is red. His name's Seth now, so it all means a thing.
The name you gave him is Seth now.
His name is Seth. Yeah, and I went into that tournament. I was in such a good mood. I was so excited. I think that's it. It's all about
seeing a fox.
Seeing the Georgie Cox, the sweaty fox.
Yeah.
Or Gabriel Seth, the sweaty mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Joe's top tip, considering we are about to announce the Joe Academy, right?
Yeah.
One of your top tips, See a fox on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Mancunian fox.
Right, specifically.
Yeah.
Much harder if you're in Gibraltar, but okay.
See a fox. See a beautiful, majestic wild animal in its natural habitat of the streets of Manchester.
Oh my God.
There are arguments to say, have nice shoes, be comfortable, hydrate, don't drink your body weight in Monster. You know.
That all sounds like terrible advice.
It's terrible
quite
stuff.
frankly.
Fox.
So, games 2-6, wins. So we ended Sunday
5-1.
5-1 with that army.
With that army. And I spoke to people on Saturday morning who were like, I'll be surprised if you get a win. This is stupid.
I have a little screenshot, end of Sunday, Jay, of the leaderboard. And it says Joe Coles, person, Stephen Box, Michael Costello.
Yeah.
But so what we're saying is, Joe was the academy.
I was the academy. Yeah.
That's now been proven with the placing at Warhammer's own GT.
Yeah.
With that army.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So we'll do the Joe Academy.
Yeah.
In the future.
Yeah. Joe was really nice about Warhammer.
Which flavour of Monster you drink before each game?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many burgers is too many burgers? Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't have any burgers. I had a lot of pizza. That's
All right.
also,
Okay.
That's a winning tip.
So,
Pizza.
We went into back to the results.
Yeah, I also played. Lots of people had lots of repeat armies. I had no repeat armies all the way through.
That's good.
It was like Ultramarines, Eldar, Votan, Gene Stealer Cult.
That's a really nice experience at least, right?
Yeah.
So we were 5-1 going into day 3.
Yeah.
We've already explained 5 a.m. start. No fox.
No fox.
No fox. Extremely tired.
Yeah.
Probably less tired than you would have been if you'd have slept in your fucking car. But still extremely tired, right?
Yeah.
So you treated it Saturday. Treated Monday as a knockout. Had a game 1 go on Monday.
Lost to Gene Stealer Cult. But I saw the matchup, right? And I was like, I said before the event, and I also said to my opponent, I said, Gene Stealer Cult is the one opponent that I know that I can't beat because I have not bought anything to deal with you. Because I denied before the event, do I take infiltrators in my list? If I take infiltrators in my list, I then go to a 6-man and a 5-man squad of Blade Guard, or I lose the Bannerman, or I have to lose a Brutalis. And I was like, no, I won't take them because the chances of me fighting GC the Cult are pretty slim.
No.
And also, I was
5-1 with that army on day 1 and 2 is incredible.
Yeah, and the thing is, I spoke to him. He's a really nice guy. I got his card here actually.
Oh,
Robin Roberts of the Nerd Bar in America. He's offered us accommodation, by the way.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
The Nerd Bar.
Yeah, #1 Gene Stealer Cult player in the world last year.
Is that his face?
Yeah.
Whereabouts in America?
Somewhere warm. He's on the beach. We'll Google the Nerd Bar.
Okay.
And #1 Gene Stealer Cult player in the world last year. Currently #1 in the world now. And I went 80-92 in the end. It would have been a draw if I'd made 2 9-inch charges. Failed them both with a reroll. But it was a great game. It was a beautiful time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you dropped after that game.
I dropped after that game because I was shattered. Because it's a thinking game as well, Gene Stealer Cult. My main way of playing this army throughout the whole event, turn 1, move everything forward. Apart from the assault intercessors that sit on the objective in your home. And then just go, bleh. And then,
how does it go?
Bleh. And you go, turn 1, you're like, here's some Death Company and some Brutalis.
Yeah.
Turn 2, whatever's alive murders you.
But you had a lot of fun. You had some great opponents.
So much fun.
Yeah.
I had loads of, because like, I thought about taking Chaos Space Marines. I knew that I'd just get tabled every game.
I'll be honest with you.
This is a really fun army.
I've told you a few times that I thought that the army was very good. And you were like, oh, no. I was like, no, I think it's very good. There was a couple of matchups that I saw where I was like, oh, you could be in trouble here, in seriousness. So, for example, I looked at the Votan double Fortress. I was like, I'm not really sure how you deal with that.
I was like, I need to spread everything out because if I get there was this part of the game where I had all 3 Brutalis in a wedge trying to go through 2 buildings, and I was like,
it's a fucking turkey shoot.
I need to make my charges here, otherwise I lose all 3.
Yeah.
Um,
It was the same when you played the Eldar guy with double fire prisms and he blew up 2 or 3 Brutalis immediately. I was like, this is... But fair play to you. You put in a shift, Joe. I think you've done an incredible job. And all joking aside, like, we both consider Boxy and Michael incredible players.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm being genuine now. I'm not taking the piss. This is a moment where I'm stopping taking the piss. They're both incredible players who took competitive lists.
Yeah.
So to be above them with this, and I'm taking nothing away from the army or what you did, is an incredible achievement.
I actually said on Monday morning, if I could fight both, because all 3 of them were in the same, because it splits the ranking into pods. We'll call them pods now because I can't remember the exact word. I was in the same one as Mike Costello, Stephen Box, and Ben Jones.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to face all 3 of you. I don't care if I win or lose. I want the triumvirate, Like, I started 9th edition with Vanguard. I'll finish Vanguard.
That would have been a really nice way of finishing it. All joking
I
aside,
said it would be, and there was a nice poetry because Boxy took Eldar and I was running Blood Angels.
Yeah.
We started 9th edition the other way around. I started 9th edition with Eldar and he had Blood Angels.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
It would have been pretty special if that could have happened.
But the thing is, though, I'm glad I finished and went home when I did.
Okay.
Because on the drive home, I got home by like 8 o'clock, which was when they were announcing the winners on Monday. And I was driving home, my head was like lolling all over the place. If I'd played 2 more games and then tried to drive home,
Joe,
I probably wouldn't have made
I
it.
drove home on Saturday evening and I was fucked.
Yeah.
So, I get it.
I didn't. One thing to say, I didn't go out Saturday or Sunday night either.
I was driving home on Saturday night, chat, and I had a phone call from Joe, which I instantly told Luce afterwards. And so I just wanted to say thank you, because I'm sat here in my pants eating pizza in my hotel room.
Yeah.
What an image.
Yeah, watching Too Fast, Too Furious.
Watching Too Fast, exactly. Yeah.
I was so happy. I was so tired. My body hurt so much. Everyone was like, "Oh, let's go out." I was like, "No," because I've got to play 3 more games tomorrow. I'm not going out. I'm so super tired. So I got in, ordered pizza, straight to the bedroom door, which he didn't come to. I had to go downstairs and get it. But thanks to chat and thanks to you for giving me a hotel room that I could actually eat pizza in my pants in.
Much better than staying in your car, right?
Yeah.
So people say in the chat CSM's dropping. I keep checking and refreshing the website. We've not got it yet, but we've still got some more to talk about. Be aware, we will be talking about the CSM faction rules. Hence, I've changed the title of the stream. We will be talking about it. So I reckon in about 15 to 20 minutes, once the website's updated our end, we'll start talking about it, right? Okay. So, as an experience as a GT, ran by Games Workshop, how was that?
I would argue, and my argument differs to a lot of people, I would argue that this tournament that they ran was better than any tournament that's been run by Games Workshop in the past.
Interesting. Okay.
And I've done a lot of Warhammer World events.
You have.
One of the main things that makes this event so much better than the Warhammer World event that I've been to is the fact that every table, so every 1v1 game was played on a 6x4 table with the mat in the middle. So there's loads of space around you. You both had 2 chairs, one to sit on, one to put all your crap on, basically. Loads of space, loads of sideboard. And there's a massive gap between the back of you and the back of the person behind you.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
The terrain situation, a lot of people didn't like it, because every table there was 4 large buildings, 2 little obscuring buildings, which were like, the big squares were 12 by 12, so 12, 1 by 1, and the obscuring ones were 12 by or 8 by 4 or something. They're all on perspex things, and the terrain on top was loose.
So
I didn't have an issue with this, because what happens is when you're measuring, you know where the footprint is, and you can go like, I need to measure through. I'll pick up this wall. I can get the exact measurement to where I'm going. And then I've got people under this wall, so I can pick up the wall. I can move them out to where they're going. And then I can put the wall down, and it's not going to have shifted. It's not gone anywhere because there's already a perspex.
But I feel like potentially it opens itself up to being abused by certain players. Like if you were a slightly dishonest individual, you could probably
the walls might shift or move backwards on the perspex tile. So we're thinking like about the idea of like designing some competitive terrain for like laser cut where it comes stuck to the base. so it can't be abused.
But the event on the whole was run well.
It's run really well. My only negative would be that there was no hard dice down.
So this is a piece of feedback that I've had from a lot of people.
Yeah.
So round 1, some people's games overran 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And they didn't tell people to stop.
Literally, the end of lunchtime, so going into the next round, so the end of lunchtime was like 1:15.
Yeah.
And at 14 minutes past 1, they had to force people to finish playing.
Yeah.
So it meant that they had 1 minute to pack up their stuff and move to the next table.
Yeah.
But it's
which delays their opponent.
Which delays their opponent, and massively. All of my games, apart from on the Monday, all of my games ended with at least an hour spare.
Yeah.
And that was great because it meant I could go have a look around. But the fact is, I finished with an hour spare, or there were people that finished on time at the end of the round, right? And these are 3-hour rounds. If your game then takes an extra hour on top, that's a bit of a mickey take.
So there's the only couple of negatives I've heard is that, which is a very common complaint. And there was a more specific complaint. An individual essentially got picked up on multiple occasions by different opponents for bending the rules quite severely. When I say bending the rules,
just full-blown cheating.
Borderline cheating. I just don't want to accuse because I wasn't in that situation, so I don't know what he was doing. And the TOs, ITC code of conduct, what happens at that point? Carded, right?
Yeah.
And your score goes to 0. They just docked 10 points. Right? Doesn't stop him from winning necessarily.
If you have cheated to get the win, you're probably more than 10 points ahead of your opponent. Yeah. And in how the pairings work, battle points
are important.
Didn't matter.
Oh, really?
Didn't matter at all in the pairings.
Oh.
So your pairings were based on win-loss and the win-loss ratio of your opponents. So it's based on path to victory. So basically, if you're all in the same area, me and you have both won, and there's another person, we've both won 4, lost 1, right? I would be ranked higher than you if my opponents won more of their games than your opponents.
Opponent win percentage. Yep.
Yeah, opponent win percentage. Because it means that my opponents are, not clearly, but logically are harder, better opponents than the ones that have lost more. So, which is great. I like that idea. But it means that if someone's cheating to win, then it doesn't matter if they've lost 10 points. Because it doesn't affect the overall game score at all.
I'm going to jump in chat very quickly, Joe, before we go through your stuff. Then we'll talk about the CSM. First of all, no one's gifted any more memberships. Which means Eddie's stream's going to have more.
Ugh.
I know.
I don't like giving Eddie ammunition. I know he's probably watching now.
Well, he'll be driving, won't he?
No, he'll still...
They've stopped at a solid 57. Anyway,
Let's get to 69.
Freshman, thank you for the 5. Rumour has it Eddie's fake tan is the same red, orange Luce and Liam argued over last stream.
Really?
I mean, his is a deeper, darker, orangey brown than a red, I think.
Yeah, it's like he's just like creosote. Yeah,
he's like he hasn't washed for weeks. Peter, thank you for the 5. You guys are great. Keep it up. Thank you for your first ever super chat. Peter Strode, you're an absolute legend. We appreciate you. You're also great. Donarian, 87 with a 10. Win on a Sunday equals playing a game just after Sunday dinner is consumed. Everyone is too mind-boggled to play properly. That's a tip. That's another Joe Academy tip.
Yeah.
Play after everyone's had a roast dinner.
Like that. Although it'd require that, because what they could have done there, because they had hot dog stands, like taco nacho stands, they had a pizza stand. What they didn't have, which is a staple of the British diet, was a roast dinner and a giant Yorkshire pudding stand. That would have been brilliant.
Here's Horace. There's Horace. Everyone's Horace says, Joe, what did the fox say?
Bloop, 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 bloop. I don't know. It's like a weird screaming noise, isn't it?
Thank you so much for the 2. It's always Matt with the 2. Thank you. Creep beat the Votan double fortress, so CSM can.
Great.
Good man.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's the lad that comes to Vactorum.
Yeah. He bought full crew and played 9. He actually played all 9 games as well, Matt.
Did he?
What a legend. Hero. Right? What a legend.
Yeah, I saw that.
Stephen, thank you for the 5. Joe, you play your Fresh Terrors like my Raven Guard Carcharodons. Move forward, blah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Richard, thank you for the 10. Hey guys, it was great meeting you at Warhammer Fest this weekend, and Joe, it was great fun spectating your 3rd game on Saturday against the Aldari. Rich from Madhouse Mini Painting, cheeky plug. Do not worry about cheeky plugs. Feel perfectly free to plug yourself.
Sell yourself and plug all your holes.
And thank you so much for the first ever super chat, Rich. You're an absolute hero. We love you. Freddie Neighborhood Inquisitor, thank you for the 2. Hey Liam, I looked it up. Nerd Bar is in Las Vegas. Dangerous.
That's why you said come over for LVO. There you go. That makes more sense now. He was like, he was like, have you ever come to America? And I was like, I just can't afford it. He was like, if you can come over, I'll put you up. He's one of those super nice guys. He's like, I'm going to smash you, but I'll give you free accommodation.
Yeah. And I won't even spit on it.
Yeah.
But you can stay with me.
Yeah.
Squirrel Noob, thank you for the 1. CT, thank you for the gifted 10. Hero, John McDonald, thank you for the gifted 10. John's always got it in for Eddie, so I appreciate that. Thank you, people. Puts us on more than we had.
We shot past 69 though.
78. We did shoot
Should someone
past
get a
69.
screenshot of 69?
CT says, shares got sold today, mini pay. You're a hero. I appreciate it. Don't blow all of your mini pay money on us, although it is wildly appreciated, so thank you so much. So, we had a 3-day pass that your partner bought for you for your birthday, was that correct?
Yeah, basically when the tickets went up, I looked at the prices and I was like, I can't afford to go because I'm poor. And then I just sat next to my phone looking sad. And then, on my birthday, which is a week before Christmas, for anyone that needs to know, she gave me an envelope for my birthday present. And I was like, what the fuck? An envelope for my birthday? I opened it.
One voucher for a back rub.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it wasn't that.
It was. It was the fancy 100 and... The fancy 3-day pass.
Yeah. Not the fanciest 3-day pass.
Not the fanciest, but... we're not in the percentile that
no, of
could
course.
reach that level. But I was super mega happy, excited.
Yes, and and you got all this stuff as part of it, right?
Yeah, so you got 2 things. So you got the tournament pack,
Okay.
which everyone that went into the 3-day tournament specifically
Yep.
got, not
Yep.
the 1-day tournament. And then this is what the extra £100 got you.
Oh. Is it worth £100 extra?
I would argue yes.
Okay, good.
Right?
That's always a good start.
I would argue yes, but my opinion, like many people, varies. I'm not one of those people that argues for the sake of arguing. It's just that I derived greater value out of this because the stuff in it, specific to me, was good. So if you got the 3-day tournament, you got a fancy Warhammer Fest sports bag.
Yeah, I guess it's
String
kind of a
tie bag.
sports
Although
bag,
I have
right?
torn my sack though.
You have already torn your sack.
Torn my sack. In there, you got a name badge, holder, and a lanyard.
Yeah.
You got a silver, this is important, silver
Yeah.
Warhammer Fest badge.
Yeah.
You got
I didn't get one of those, I don't think.
No?
I want that.
You can have my silver one. You then get a t-shirt, as modelled by Joe, Warhammer Fest.
That's good modelling, I appreciate
I had to ask, this is a double XL. I saw a guy who was a lot smaller than me holding an extra large one up, and I was like, I ain't getting in that. So that's fine. That's fine, Games Workshop. You then got 6 objective markers. I haven't even opened this bag, and they're all different symbols on them. They've got Imperial Eagle, Chaos Star, and the Zenith ones. Very nice.
That's cool, I like those.
Very nice objective markers. If you didn't bring your own, you didn't have to buy any, which is lovely.
Yeah, okay.
And then you got...
Or you could have gone to the shop and bought their neoprene objective markers for £40 a pack.
Admittedly, they were very pretty.
They are very pretty, Joe, but they're not £40 worth.
The issue is as someone who has multiple armies, I wanted to get them, but someone who has multiple armies, I didn't want to get the Blood Angels ones and then play Chaos.
No.
Who is my Blood Angels? It kind of like, I have to get the Blood Angels ones, I have to get the Raven Guard ones, I have to get the Chaos ones, I have to get the Drakari ones, and then obviously I'm nearing £200 at this point.
Yeah.
And also, I'm one of those people, and I've done this before, I've played a game with 5 objectives, immediately lost the 6th one.
Yep.
And that's like
we've done that in the studio, for Christ's sake.
and that's like £8.
Yeah.
And then you got this beautiful, I'll take the sleeve off, tournament rules pack. My only gripe is it's not ring bound, but that's money, I suppose.
Okay.
And in it, you get what is essentially chapter approved.
Which you don't need because 10th is coming.
But as a player, it's really good. So when you get to the table, you're like, what game is it? Oh, it comes with the terrain
okay,
layout.
that's nice.
So
All right.
so this one here, so obviously player code of conduct.
Yeah, that's nice.
Interesting. Terrain layouts, very nice. It then has the essentials, the timings for the tournament.
That's good.
Which I found really useful.
Okay, all right, I take it back. This is really nice.
Yeah, so
Okay.
as a tournament pack, brilliant. And then they've not in the same order as chapter approved. The missions are in a different order, but they helpfully then missioned 1-8, mission 9, mission blah blah blah, and then you got one card which was the mission rules. You had another card which was the table layout. So you took out the card, looked at the layout, put it back in your pack, and then rules wise,
Just have
you
that
don't
one card.
need a book open. You've got one card. And you
Just
see
that one
everything.
That's actually really nice. Okay,
like if I was a TO and I was running events, I would argue that this is minimum requirements for a tournament now. If you want to do a good tournament,
I mean, you say that this is going to be not cheap to produce for every player.
you could do it in paper.
You could
go. Here's right. We're playing a 3-game event. Here is a piece of paper with your layouts on and the mission rules.
Yeah.
Right, and the timings for the day.
I actually think that's really nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good standard to set. And considering they can't seem to produce enough chapter approved to people, at least giving you the mission is important.
Chapter approved was in the shop. Not that you'd be able to buy it and get to your table in time, but
no, not because of 2 hours in the shop.
Yeah, but I also got a Warhammer Fest pen.
You didn't get that in the pack, Joe. Don't lie.
No.
You chatted up the stuff.
Yes, the lady on reception gave it to me. She actually gave me.
He went in there and he flicked his hair around,
caught her in the eyes, and she was blind, and then
splattered her with his sweat.
Yeah.
So that's just a tournament pack,
That's
right?
just the tournament pack.
And this is the fancy add-on.
Yes.
What's in
some
the fancy
people,
add-on?
arguably, some people don't like this. I like it because I derive value from it.
Okay, you've already said that.
Yes.
You're saying it again.
I'm reiterating it.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's not a massive box.
It's not a massive box. No, not like my box.
No, your box is huge.
Yeah.
Lots of space in it. So, in here, in this box, you get 2 models.
Okay.
You get the commemorative series event-only models. You get the Commissar and Tolgar Split Eye. The
Tolgar Split Arse?
Yeah, the Slaves to Darkness Barbarian Lord Man.
Oh, I actually really like that.
He's nice, isn't he?
Very Viking.
So the reason I derive value, I was going to buy him anyway.
Yeah.
So that saved me 30 quid.
Okay.
My AOS army is going to be Slaves to Darkness. I've got a Slaves to Darkness army, so I'm going to use him. So 60 quid already value. I kind of felt this was targeted me. Here's a water bottle. Drink more water, Joe.
Yes.
Less monster, more water.
Yeah.
And it's good. I haven't tried to drink out of it yet, but it's a nice Warhammer Fest water bottle.
It's not bad quality, is it?
And considering the prices in Warhammer Fest, I was tempted to drink water from the taps in that.
I mean, it's a bowl.
It's
cool.
a bowl.
I like it. Hydrating at the table.
You
important.
also got 20 dice.
Oh.
And the reason...
Not 15 for £20. 20 dice.
You get 20 dice. And do you know why this is great? I got the Octarius Inquisition Rising Tide or whatever it was, purple dice, which is my favourite dice they ever did. And I had a set of these in my eBay page because I've got 20. I was like, I want 40 because 20 is not enough. So I got the dice I wanted.
Oh, that's good.
That's an extra saving.
So you got lucky, okay.
20
dice.
So 20 dice.
Yeah.
I'm going to lay that there.
Which is amazing considering they now sell them in 15s, right?
Well, no, they do 20s and 15s. You get the Billy Basic ones like this, which are 20s, and then you get the fancy square ones. All dice are
Okay,
square, right. You get another lanyard.
Another lanyard, in case you wanted to wear 2.
You get a commemorative Warhammer Fest coin.
That's
for
nice.
the people that like to collect coins.
Yeah, that's quite
Very
nice. Like that.
You get a gold Koyo Warhammer Fest pin bag.
Oh, so you got a silver and a gold one.
Yeah, that means I'm more important than those people.
Yeah.
And then, well, this is annoying. You get a mouse mat. I don't own a computer, but I've always wanted a bent mouse mat.
I mean, I like the fact that they stop you from running your mouse off the desk.
Well, I kind of feel like this was just a last-minute choice because it doesn't fit in the box.
I mean, that's a very interesting choice.
Fun story.
It's not even a very nice mouse mat, Joe.
Warpforge are doing the new card game. It looks really nice, actually. I did upset someone. I was like, oh, that's the card game that's like Hearthstone. And the member staff was like...
Okay,
yeah.
So you got a bent mouse mat.
Yeah, I got a Tacticus...
Free download. You haven't
Get
looked at it.
Azrael code.
Okay, so you can get Azrael.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
And then what are these? I didn't look at these. I was like, this is going from the
We're now live reviewing.
Warpforge card game thing. Apparently, it gives you missions which you get rewards from. Okay. And then 15% discount off the Founders Pack for the Rogue Trader game.
Cool.
Nice. Not bad. I got to play Bolt Gun whilst I was there as well. Not bad, actually.
Is it not? Is that the computer one that looks like old Doom?
So, right, I'm going to give...
Because I saw that. I was like, oh, it sounds really good. Saw the graphics. I was like, not for me.
Joe's honest review, right? I saw it before I went to Fest, and I was like, that looks like shit.
Yeah, that was me as well, right?
I like the fact that they're trying to do old school Doom, but graphics have moved on. We're not there anymore.
We're not.
We're like Call of Duty days now.
We are, yeah.
Right? I got to play it. It plays very much like Doom and old Quake. Lots of jumping, shooting from the hip, kind of like original Halo. No aim down sights.
Okay.
Right? It's really smooth, really nice. The gameplay is fun, despite like the graphics, and it's just exploding, shooting stuff all the time. You've always got a gun, and then you've got a chainsaw. You go, and I imagine you probably get a hammer or a power sword later on.
Okay, but that won't go wow. I assume.
I hope so. It goes bonk. It's really good. It's just relentless running around shooting explosions.
Okay.
The woman said it's like an 8 to 10 hour campaign. My only people are like, oh, that's really good. I was like, no.
I'm still not sold on it, Joe.
Because the downside to having a game that's nothing but explosions and shooting is that actually gets boring really quickly.
It's 2023. I don't think there's any excuse for a game that poor.
I think it's a good game. If the campaign was 4 hours long, I'd be all right. Just a tide over. But apparently it's only like 20 quid, 25 quid when it comes out. So
I think that's £24 more than it should be.
I will probably get it and play it and have lots of fun, but I'm waiting for Space Marine.
I mean, I think most people are waiting for Space Marine 2. That's what we're waiting for, right? Because and I feel like with Space Marine 2 coming, Bolt Gun is just it's just a poor imitation.
I think the Warp Forge is a good addition to the market for people that play Hearthstone.
I don't know what either of those things are.
Hearthstone is just like a digital card game. It's like Magic.
So all in all, you think box reasonable value? If you do about actual cash value, it's probably 100% worth
3, 6, probably 10 or 15 quid.
Well, it's Games Workshop, so probably have 50.
We'll say 20. So that's 80. Dice are 25 quid now, so it's 105.
Yeah. 40 quid mouse mat.
Oh, also, if you've got this, if you got the bag, you've got a £10 voucher in it.
Oh, that's nice.
The only downside to the £10 voucher was it had to be spent at Warhammer Fest.
Yeah. And you had a minimum spend on it.
And there's a minimum spend of 25 quid. So you still have to, pay 50.
But let's be honest, how many things are you finding that are a tenner sold by Games Workshop?
Not much.
Not much, right?
Although I went in on the Sunday to buy a T-shirt because I realised had I have not got this free T-shirt, I hadn't packed enough. In my rush on Friday to go, I didn't have enough T-shirts. So I ran in there on Monday to buy a T-shirt. It all sold out.
What we're saying is, on the whole, the tournament was run pretty well.
The tournament was run
with a very minor gripe about timings.
Yeah.
You have enjoyed your games that you played well. You did well.
Everyone was delighted.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you actually get much chance? And by the way, people, I see you asking. We are going to cover Chaos Space Marines very, very soon. Did you actually get much chance to go around in between rounds and do things, or did the queues just mean that was kind of impossible?
No, I got to do nothing.
Okay.
I spent, in between every single game, I spent most of my time talking to people because I couldn't get into anything.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get into the auditorium because of the timings of the stuff in there and the timings of the event meant I couldn't see any previews.
Yeah.
I tried to buy something from the shop. I tried to buy some stuff from the shop on Saturday. The round finished, went to the shop, had a look around, got the stuff, stood in the queue. I was in before I got to the till. And I had like an hour and a bit before I even got to the till. They announced the next round, so I just dumped everything and left. Man,
that shop. I went there with half a mind. Right, this is genuine. I went there with half a mind to buy an Imperial Warhound Titan. I looked at the queue, and I went nowhere near that fucking shop.
I don't have an issue with the queue being long because there's lots of people there, and obviously what they could have done is had more tills, but then obviously space is the thing.
Yeah.
Right, and you've got to staff those tills, and you need staff to restock the shop because people just go in and taking stuff. My only issue with the shop, and this is a pretty big issue, nothing had prices on it.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that's legal in this country.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it's legal to not show a price.
Because what happened is that there were loads of people stood there like this, right, and this slows your system down massively, just sat on the Games Workshop and the Forge World website.
Working out what the cost was. Yeah.
I bought quite a bit. I spent...
Well, I said to chat last night, Joe, right, with the exception of Forge World or event exclusive, if you want, and I saw people sit there with boxes of stuff, orcs and things, right? Nothing event exclusive, nothing like objective markers, just boxes of normal products. You could have, without doubt, driven 20 minutes south, gone to Element, bought it for 15% off, driven 20 minutes north, and still beat the time you would be stood in the queue for on the start of Saturday.
Oh, easily.
100%, right? And saved yourself 50%.
If I was Games Workshop...
Right,
so what I would have done, if I was Games Workshop, I would have had an event-exclusive store.
Yeah.
And then everything else store. and then I would have had 3 because if you're going in there. Because I bought only Forge World stuff, but I still had to stand in the queue with everyone else.
Yeah. I will add a caveat, by the way. I did get home and look at Mars Pattern Imperial fucking Warhammer Titans, and then I'm glad I didn't go up to the box at Warhammer Fest because I saw the price on the website and sobbed.
Yeah,
I don't think I could afford one of those in a very long time.
So I must have bought a couple £100 worth of stuff, and I think I would have spent a lot less money had I have known how much I was spending.
Yeah.
Because I saw a lot of people that went ahead of me when I did eventually get to buy stuff, took to the till, and they were like, oh. And they were just handing stuff back. They're like, take that out, take that out, take that out.
It's not great, right? But, you know, like
that's
I said...
what feels bad as well.
If I tell you what, I wasn't aware of the cost of something like a Warhammer Titan nowadays. If I'd have walked up to the till and been quoted what I looked at on the website, I think I'd have probably gone, oh, hang on a minute.
And for some people, like I've queued for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to buy all of this.
Yeah, of course.
Kind of thing.
Right, back into chat and we'll go on to look at Chaos Rules. So, Gordon Fenton, thank you for the 5. I took my 9-year-old. The queues meant we did actually end up doing very little. Awful queues for everything ruined the event. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people have had that sort of same experience.
I kind of feel like what they could have done is that there were queues leading into other queues.
Well, I said this last night, Joe. I was lucky because I had so many people come and say hello. It actually kept me busy all day. Yeah. If I'd have gone, and I've had people comment on yesterday's stream already. If I'd have gone as a single person who just bought a 3-day ticket for the weekend. Okay, someone dropped a comment on. Hang on, I'm going to read it out. Actually, this is important because this is.
I know a guy who went to who bought a 3-day ticket. 2 guys went up together. Bought a 3-day ticket, did the Heresy event on Saturday, then went home.
So someone who commented on last night's stream, I went on my own, and I don't mind reading this out because it's commented on the stream publicly. I went on my own as someone about 8 months into the hobby. I knew 10th was on the horizon, so decided it wasn't my best interest to learn 9th and just focus on getting an army together and painted. I went to Warhammer Fest really excited to try 10th edition. I arrived at 7:30 on the Saturday and managed to get into the auditorium for the reveals. Got a good seat because I was alone. I mean, that's great. We're there for 10th edition 40k reveals, right? So by getting into the auditorium and getting a great seat, he already had a slightly better experience than I did, right? After that, right, there was nothing for me to do. I didn't want to spend hours in queues by myself, and because there was so little stuff to do, the queues for everything were massive, which is true, which is what I said last night. So he's gone in excited about 10th edition, not only 9th yet. He's gone and done the reveals, great, because I didn't even get in for those. Imagine then coming out and going, let's go try it. Oh my fuck, there's a 2.5 hour queue already. Right? He's on his own.
Yeah.
So he's not hanging out with people really, right? I knew someone from my hometown playing in the tournament, so I dropped by to say hi. I left at 1 PM disappointed on the Saturday. 3-day ticket, right? I didn't go back and I had a weekend ticket.
Yeah.
So he did essentially half a day.
Well, that's the perfect customer, isn't it? You pay to go and then never show up. That's what the gyms say, isn't it? The best gym subscriber is the one that never turns up.
But that's like, so I had a great day because I had so many people coming. And I said last night, I categorically said last night that if you're an individual going on your own and you don't know people, I actually felt like it could have created a real feels bad if you're not prepared to queue.
I have said this out loud. And I don't like saying it because I do like Games Workshop and this is how we derive our living by playing Games Workshop games. But if I wasn't playing in the tournament and it's a terrible sentence to say, if I wasn't me and people weren't coming to say hello.
No, I get it though.
Right?
I know it sounds ego.
It sounds ego, but
I
wanted to sound egotistical because I still don't understand why people even want to talk to me in the first place because I look miserable. But if I wasn't talking to people all the time, and I wasn't doing the event, I would have been really upset.
Yeah. But as I said yesterday on stream, right, I've already had a phone conversation with GW about the event. Yeah. They're already looking at what they can improve on. This is the biggest fest they've ever had, the biggest Golden Demon entries for proper competition. I think it's a good start.
Yeah, if I took what they had there and rearranged it, so where all the cosplayers were and all the random stands down the side, I would have put Golden Demon in there.
Okay.
And you go in one way, because there's no queue for Golden Demon, which didn't make any sense to me. Because it was just literally people just bustling in to look in things.
But there was a queue, but people were also just bustling in.
Yeah, what you do is you can go in this end and you come out that end, and it's all in a long line. So you naturally move along, looking at it. And then that gives
people with whips.
Yeah. And there's more floor space then for having the shop in it. Or more intro tables to play 10th edition.
Oh, don't.
Right.
So I said last night, right, what they could have done, and I genuinely think this is not a bad idea, is go to some of the bigger creators, especially some of the most trustworthy creators, teach them 10th before the event, and ask them if they would happily, for a free weekend ticket, host a table for half a day.
Yeah.
If they'd have said to me, if it wasn't for my wedding anniversary, they'd said to me, hey Liam, on Sunday, from the morning to lunchtime, could you run demo games on a table? I'd be like, absolutely, yes, of course I can. Not a problem.
Yeah.
I'd do that.
I would have. If they'd offered that to both of us, I wouldn't play in the tournament. I would just teach people.
Yeah.
The food was good. I tell you what. It was a little bit overcosted.
I was angry about the food, Joe.
I was like, the fact that you have to pay £10 for what is essentially a child's pizza.
So the quality wasn't terrible.
The quality was really good.
When I paid £11 for my pizza and I got this big box like that, I was like, oh. And then when I opened it and realised it was half full of pizza, I was like, oh, okay.
But the pizza, the food was really good, and the speed in which they were getting it out, brilliant. I had one of those rice bowls the other day. Turned out to be disgusting. But
what a surprise! A rice bowl Joe didn't like.
Rice
pizza,
bowl with
it?
Rice bowl with stuff, but it was too spicy for me. I'm not a spicy boy. But I ate all of it because I was starving. Yeah. But they were like, I asked for it, I paid for it, and they handed it to me.
Yeah. I mean, that was impressive.
I had like a pasty on the same day because I was starving from terrible rice, and they're like, here's a pasty. And one thing I cannot say a bad thing about is the staff weren't like the GW staff and the event hall staff were incredible.
Yeah, of course they were.
I've never been to an event like a music event, a gaming event, whatever event. I've never been to one before where not a single member of staff. Everyone looked happy. Everyone was really happy. If you had a question, they'd be like, yeah, she's in there. Everyone was super happy.
I cannot fault the staff. Although some of the organisation wasn't great, although some of the queuing was bad and some of the things weren't perfect, the staff, you're 100% right.
Even the people emptying the bins were
staff were incredible. The staff should be commended for what they did with 10,000 people who I think within half of a day, a lot of those 10,000 people would have been grumpy as well because of things like queues. Yeah. The staff are amazing. Yeah. Can't fault them.
One guy who was a hero, on Monday, I walked down the escalators and stuff into the NCP car park underneath, and there was just a guard just stood there in the underground car park watching the door. Didn't even have a seat to stand on. Still super happy. Well, lad.
Right, big shout out to Schooner for gifting 5. You're a hero. Takes us to 83. Can we hit 100 on Liam and Joe show? We haven't done that for a while, actually.
We haven't done that.
We haven't done 100 gifted members or 100 new members on Liam and Joe show for a while. I see a ton of grey names in chat. Do you want to come and hang out with us in the Great Hall server, !Discord? You need to be a member, though, to get access to it. So you could !member and become a member all by yourself. People that become members all by themselves are very important to us, actually. Yeah. So thank you so much, Schooner, for gifting 5.
Kiss you on the cheek.
Schooner, you're a legend. Thank you so much. Tyler, then with a 5. My birthday is Christmas Eve. I also know the pain of a Christmas birthday. My birthday is also Christmas Eve, Tyler. We are birthday bros. That's right. We're more birthday bros than you and Joe. Not what you were expecting, was it? Pip, thank you for the 2. I would argue the best thing is the bottle in this box.
So I will get a lot of use out. I'll get I'll get use out of it.
There's no way you're cracking a Monster to pour it into a water bottle, Joe.
You never know. What if I need to get into a place where I can't take?
At most, that's going to be a fucking vase for a daffodil, right?
Right. But the commissar, I haven't built him. Because I needed him to show off today. But I would have built him on... So basically, Liam said, you can have Tuesday off because you're a tired and sleepy boy. What I did was build stuff for the channel.
I did try to give you the day off.
The problem is, right, and my partner doesn't understand this either, right, is that what I did before I had this job to relax and chill out, apart from playing computer games, was painting and building models. So when Liam's like, I have a day off, my partner's not at home, no one's online to play Xbox with. I just chill and play and build and paint some models. Just so happens that I'm using them for the channel. So I built some Blade Guard.
Okay. Stephen, thank you for the 5. I'm trying to get to the chaos rules, Joe. So the more you keep talking.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. It's fine.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
Stephen, thank you for the 5. Joe, you don't look miserable. You look like an international treasure, not just a national treasure now, an international treasure.
International man of mystery.
Dave, thank you for the 5. Was drunk the other night and thought was looking at one of your vids, but was the Joe Marler show. I was wondering why is Liam not talking about Warhammer? Brilliant. And Matt goes, there were escalators into the car park. He must have just used the steps the whole time.
So, right. This is cheeky. It was actually blocked off. You couldn't use them. But I was like, I need to put some of my stuff in my car and then come back in. And the security guard was like, if you go through that door, there's escalators downstairs into the car park, straight into it. Space Marine.
Chaos Space.
So,
to close the door, because we're now an hour in, to close the door on the fest, for Joe's experience at least, which was different to mine, he enjoyed it, it was great. However, it could be improved.
Using Boxy's 7, your rating scale of 7, because 4's in the middle. I was watching his stream last night.
Oh, fucking...
Out of 10...
Why does he have to be different every time?
Out of 10,
Yeah,
I
thank
would
you.
give it an 8.
That's high. But you did the tournament.
But the thing is, though, I did the tournament, and
I
I
think-
talked to a lot of people.
I think if you take the tournament away and you take your experience chatting to a lot of people away, it goes down to maybe a 3 or 4.
I would give it a 3.
Yeah, right.
If I wasn't doing the event, it goes straight down to
There
a
you go.
3. I
Okay.
was speaking to Josh. And I said,
Mr. the War Hipster.
Mr. the War Hipster, and I spoke to other people. I think if I was going to do Warhammer Fest again, I would do 2 one-day events and then have 1 day for looking around. I would,
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
because,
Okay.
yeah.
Right, Chaos Space Marines, people. I changed the title of the stream because I knew it was coming today. Chaos Space Marines get a bit of a bad rep. Yes, they pledge themselves to diabolical cosmic horrors in search of greater power. They do periodically try to overthrow the Imperium's galactic rule, and perhaps they have held a bit of a grudge for the last 10,000 years or so, but can we really blame them? Are you ready for this, Jay? I don't know whether I'm judging you as being excited, apprehensive, nervous, terrified.
I'm quite nervous.
Unlike their prim and proper cousins, the Heretic Astartes need a bit of showmanship in the dark and gloomy galaxy, and their rules in the new edition of Warhammer 40,000 do not disappoint. They've said here, Joe, they do not disappoint.
I will be the judge of that.
We're getting a live reaction from Joe here, people, right? Okay. Chaos Space Marines have all of them. You notice I'm not showing you, but I see you looking. I'm going to...
Yeah, he's hiding
have
it
all
from
of
me.
the skill and flexibility of their loyalist counterparts supplemented by forbidden power borrowed from the warp. Sorcerers, invocations, and terrifying mutations are yours to command, backed by raging demon engines and hordes of screaming cultists.
Oh.
Hordes of screaming cultists, interesting.
Hordes.
Such gifts rarely come without a cost, but the boons they grant are worth the risk. And at the end of the day, these are still Space Marines, tough as nails, reliable in a fight, and guaranteed to outmuscle lesser creatures man to man unless you've played the last 3 editions. Faction rules.
Faction rules. Right then, come on. Give it to me, baby.
Heretic Astartes warbands come in many shapes and colours, but they are united by their willingness to make dark pacts for power. As their army rule, this gives all Chaos Space Marine commanders the opportunity to acquire potent core abilities if they're willing to gamble the lives of their troops.
Oh, I like this. This sounds like a risk reward.
So the army rule is called Dark Pacts. If your army faction is Heretic Astartes, each time a unit with this ability is selected to shoot or fight, it can make a Dark Pact. If it does, select one of the following abilities for that unit's weapons to gain until the end of the phase. Lethal hits, sustained hits 1. So lethal hits, a 6 to hit automatically wounds. Sustained hits 1, a 6 to hit generates 1 additional hit.
So death to the false emperor or auto wounding, basically.
So you pick 1.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's shoot or fight. Right? Each time a unit makes a dark pact, after it has resolved its attack, so you get to do all your shooting and fighting, it must take a leadership test. If the test has failed, it suffers D3 mortal wounds.
I like it.
Okay, there you go.
I like it because if you've got a 10-man squad, because you probably push you to make much larger squads, I imagine.
Yeah.
Because if you've got a 10-man squad, you're like, doing the pack. You're like, oh, I'm down to 2 people now.
But sacrificing models to the gods is kind of narrative.
Yeah,
as well.
I like
it.
that. Yeah, I like that. Because like, if you've got cultists, like, murder all my cultists.
You can make dark pacts as many times as you like during a game, so the only limit is how many souls you want to offer up to the gods of chaos in return.
Yeah.
Even a cultist mob can gain great power through the patron's blessing, turning their scavenged blades into something deadly and profane that can threaten an enemy unit. Cultists going in now are going lethal hits in melee isn't terrible,
That's
right?
not awful. That puts them on par with current guard.
Unit spotlight. The core of any Chaos Space Marine invasion is made up of legionnaires. Whether they're veterans of the Horus Heresy or more recent renegades, these traitors have long since abandoned notions of professionalism and tradition and bring a very eclectic range of equipment to the field. Look at all these weapon options. Look at all these weapon options.
Oh my lord.
Okay, so the data sheet for legionnaires has a lot of weapon options.
It's two-sided.
So your toughness 4, 3 episode, 2 wounds, 6 plus leadership. So leadership 6 plus. So on 2d6, you've got to get a 6 or higher. So double 3 or above
Yeah.
to be able to do your dark packs.
Yeah, nice.
Objective of control 2. Veterans of the Long War. Each time a model in this unit targets an enemy unit with a melee attack, re-roll a wound roll of 1. If that enemy unit is within range of an objective marker, you can re-roll wounds instead. Fighting in melee. That's only in melee. I hate re-rolls. I'm okay with that because it's just melee.
It's very.
It is yet again Games Workshop saying we're removing all the re-rolls and here's more re-rolls. Hey, Chaos Icon. Now you want icons everywhere and you like a banner, Jay. Each time the bearer's unit takes a leadership test for the Dark Pack's ability, you can re-roll that test. Okay.
Right. Okay. I'm loving this already.
So melee weapons, you've got a curse weapons, which are what used to be like power axes, etc.
Yeah.
Weapon skill 3 plus 4 attacks for a legionnaire with a curse weapon. Strength 5 minus 2, 1 damage. In
nice.
Less
So it's gone from strength 5 minus 3. Yeah.
The heavy weapon is 3. The heavy melee weapon is 3 attacks instead of strength 8 minus 2, 2 damage. Still hitting on 3s.
Yeah.
Plasma pistols look okay. Everything there looks pretty normal. Havoc autocannon, 2 shots, strength 3. Ballistic skill 3, strength 9 minus 1, 3 damage on the Havoc autocannon now, which is heavy.
Oh, finally.
What's interesting is it's heavy, but it's a ballistic skill of 3+. So you hit on 3s if you're moving around, which also means because it's got the heavy keyword, they showcased this previously in the reveals. Yeah. If you stand still, you're then hitting on 2s with him at strength 9 minus 1, 3 damage. That's not bad, is it? Okay.
What's the chain cannon?
And it's not in here.
It's Reaper chain cannon at the bottom.
Oh, Reaper chain cannon, 8 attacks.
So as it is,
hitting on 4+, but is heavy. So if you stand still, you're hitting on 3+.
Yeah.
Which is why that Havoc autocannon seems odd at hitting on. Anyway, strength 5, AP nothing, 1 damage. And the Balefire, they've reduced a lot of the AP, to be fair. The Balefire Tome, which is now your psychic ability for the unit, 18-inch range, 2 attacks, ballistic skill 3, strength 5 minus 1, 1 damage. Okay, that's cool.
Not as good as it used to be, but it's still
a lot less mortal wounds from psychic.
But the damage output of the unit overall has massively increased.
Has it? I don't know if it has.
Okay. The damage output hasn't massively increased, but the reliability of the damage you're putting out has increased.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. Okay.
So before you're putting out the same amount of stuff, but you've got more inbuilt shenanigans.
Dropping Drew on my.
I still think the best way of running it now is still bolt pistol chainsword.
This squad can be kitted out to deal with almost any target at almost any range. Whether you want them to shred hordes at range with a Reaper chain cannon, flamer and bolt guns, or tackle elites up close with roaring chainswords and a pair of heavy melee weapons.
Can you have a look in the top section if you can put a missile launcher or a las cannon in the unit?
Missile launcher, plasma gun, Reaper chain cannon, melta cannon, las cannon, heavy bolt, havoc cannon, flamer, plasma pistol.
Interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Right.
This bodes well for Terminators.
The right Dark Pact can make them even better at their chosen task or help them to further diversify their death dealing. I'll hide that little bit there right now.
Why?
It takes a strong will indeed to knit fractious legions and renegade warbands into a cohesive combat whole. And Abaddon the Despoiler,
Daddy,
is just about the only mortal who's ever truly managed it. The War Master of the Imperium Nihilus is a general on par with the Imperial Primarchs, and he's an absolute terror in the thick of combat as well.
He should be.
So currently, he's one of the rule sets where I was a bit unsure. As a Chaos fan, I loved how immensely powerful he was. From a game perspective, I thought he was too much.
He's
5-inch move.
Oh, he slowed down a little bit.
Toughness 5.
Yeah.
2+ save.
Yeah.
9 wounds. Leadership of 5+. Objective control of 4.
Well,
Okay.
let's be honest. If he's on the objective, you don't want to go near it, do you?
So range weapons, Talon of Horus, which has sustained hits 1 as standard, so exploding 6s. Okay.
Nice.
Which is a 24-inch range with 4 attacks on a ballistic skill of 2+, strength 5, -1, 2 damage.
So the same profile as it is, but
Yeah,
it's
not
got
bad.
explosive.
Melee weapons, he can use either Drachnien or Talon of Horus. Both have devastating wounds. Devastating wounds means that a 6 to wound does the damage in mortal wounds instead of normal damage. Okay. So the Drachnien is 8 attacks.
Yeah.
Weapon skill 2+, strength 14, AP -4, flat 3 damage. 6s to wound will do that as mortal wounds instead. Right? The Talon of Horus is 14 attacks, ballistic skill 2+, strength 7, -3, 1 damage, and has devastating wounds. So 6s to wound do mortal wounds instead, right?
That's good, that is.
His core abilities are Deep Strike and Leader, so he can Deep Strike as a Leader. Leader means he can join units, okay? Dark Pax is his faction ability, we've already know that. War Master. In your command phase, select one War Master ability C left. Until the start of your next command phase, that model has that ability. And Dark Destiny. Each time this model makes a Dark Pact and does not fail the resulting leadership test, roll 1d6. On a 2+, you gain a CP. So he just refunds you CP.
That's good, that is.
So you have a leadership of 5+. You choose a Dark Pact. Let's say you choose Exploding Sixes on Draknaen, because that's what you want.
Yeah.
And you've already got Devastating Wounds on him. So you roll your 5+, you get a 6. You then get Devastating Wounds and Exploding Sixes on Draknaen, right?
Yeah.
And then you roll 1 dice, and on 2+, you gain a CP as well. It's really nice. Okay. He's got a 4+ invulnerable save.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's this bit here?
So this is his War Master ability that you pick in each command phase. So you
Alright,
pick one of these 3 things.
Right.
Paragon of Hatred, which is an aura.
Yeah.
While a friendly Heretic Astartes unit is within 6 inches of the model, each time a model makes an attack, you can re-roll the hit roll. I already hate it because they said they're doing less re-rolls, and this is another fucking re-roll aura.
But he is a Primarch.
Okay, so I hate it because it's re-rolls and auras again, but he is essentially a Chaos Primarch.
Yeah, he is.
So
a
this is
Chaos
one of those
Primarch,
rare
and
occasions where I'm like, if they're only going to have re-roll auras for Gulliman, Abaddon, etc., and that's kind of it, rather than every fucking captain and lieutenant that exists, I'm more comfortable with it.
I would be happy if he's still like locked to Black Legion.
So you can all Heretic Astartes within 6 inches can re-roll hit rolls when they make an attack. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's very good.
Yeah.
Or you can pick, you don't get all of these, or Mark of Chaos Ascendant, Aura, while a friendly Heretic Astartes infantry or a Heretic Astartes mounted unit is within 6 inches of this model, models in that unit have a 4+ invulnerable save.
So Azrael.
He's got an Azrael bubble.
Mounted? Is that mounted in a vehicle?
Just as Heretic Astartes mounted unit is within 6 inches. I don't know what that means, Jay.
I don't know what that means, but I want to know what that means.
If we start seeing Chaos Space Marines on Juggernauts, I'm very excited.
Oh, Juggernaut.
But it might just be like bikers, I guess. I don't know.
Well, we do need a new biker unit.
Lord of the Traitor Legions, Aura.
Yeah.
This is the 3rd thing you could pick. You can't have all 3 of these, remember?
This is like currently 9th edition Angron.
While a friendly... Yes.
Yeah.
Which we said might have been a peak into 10th. Look at that. We were right. While a friendly Heretic Astartes unit is within 6 inches of the model, you can re-roll leadership and battle shock tests taken for that unit. Interestingly, when you take a Dark Pact, it says you roll a leadership test.
Yeah.
So you could put that on him, and everyone who makes a Dark Pact roll within 6 inches of him, who haven't got an icon, can re-roll the leadership test.
So that'd be like really good, like, depending on how many points they are, it's a massive point saver.
Yeah.
And also, like, that's good.
Well, even units that can't take icons then suddenly get access
The only
to
thing that makes me sad about his rules, and this is so minute, it's essentially pointless, right? Looking at his rules, you're still never going to use the Talon. You're always going to use Draknaen every time.
I don't think you are.
Because he does.
If you're swinging Talon of Horus, if you run him into 10 guardsmen, you're using Talon of Horus. You can't kill 10 guardsmen with Draknaen.
Well, you can if it does mortal wounds.
Yeah, if you get lucky and you get 6s.
Yeah.
Talon of Horus, you're wounding guardsmen on 2s, you're hitting on 2s, you're -3, you're ignoring their save, it's 1 damage each.
I suppose he's much better at clearing hordes with the Talon than he is.
Yeah. One thing I will say, it says leader, but it doesn't tell you what he can join, which means he doesn't have the ability to join units, which makes sense because his War Master bit is all auras, which means he has the...
Well, he's got the keywords, hasn't he? So he's got infantry character, epic heroes, Terminator.
So it'd be interesting to know how he works, because I would imagine he'll have he's a lone operative if he's within 3 inches of infantry.
Yeah.
Which if he's a lone operative, that means that you cannot target him if you're more than 12 inches away.
Yeah.
So if he then steps out of range of 3 inches of infantry, he then can be targeted. What I do like, what I am really happy to see, no phase cap.
Boo.
No phase cap, no ignore damage. I'm actually happy for that. I think that's a positive change.
Well, he's got all 4 marks still.
Yeah.
We don't know what the marks do.
We don't know. He's got all those keywords. So I'm going to assume that whilst he's within 3 inches of a infantry unit, he has the lone operative ability.
Can he join a squad then?
No, he doesn't say he can't join squads. It would give him on this day.
He's got the leader.
He's got leader, but it doesn't tell it. It hasn't got the bodyguard bit, which tells you what he can join. So he can't join, which makes sense because he's got auras.
Yeah.
So if he could join a unit, it wouldn't be an aura. It would be the unit that he's joined instead of an aura.
All right.
Right.
Yeah.
So he doesn't join units. He isn't lone operative that I can see. He's leader, so I assume he has to be within 3 inches of infantry.
Yeah.
So they've showcased this in the past to gain lone operative, which means you can't target him unless you're within 12 inches.
So he's always going to have 30 Terminators next to him.
Joe's Abaddon might always have 30 Terminators. Abaddon is a rare character. He bestows powerful aura abilities, and they've said rare, right, on nearby allies, even while leading a unit. Oh, even while leading a unit, that's a problem. Maybe he can.
I imagine, given what they've said about Aggressor and Terminator-based Space Marine.
Maybe where the units he can join are on the other side of the data sheet then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be on this part, won't it? On unit composition on the flip side.
I imagine he probably can only join Terminators.
Okay. So he can lead a unit and can choose which of them to apply every turn. Appropriately for one who holds the Chaos Gods in open contempt, his Dark Destiny lets him generate a command point every time he sells a Dark Pact, or seals a Dark Pact, and prevails in the resulting Battle of Wills. For the Ruinous Powers are just another tool in his grand ambition
How
for the
does
galaxy.
auras work if you're in a squad then?
It says within 6 inches of this model.
Oh, so he could be in a unit, have the aura on.
Yeah, so you can spread your unit out like that, but you still have to be within 6 inches of him to get the aura.
fair enough.
Okay, which means actually, if you do put him in a squad of 10 Terminators who are around him, that 6 inches of your aura is fucking pointless because those Terminators stood there.
Yeah.
So that then calms that aura right down.
It becomes a risk-reward situation.
Yeah.
Then,
or do you give him 5 Chaos Space Marines who could be easily killed, but then his aura stretches further because you can then stretch the aura past your 32mm base that stood next to him. That's interesting.
Chosen, they're on a 40mm base, I think.
Yeah. Weapon Spotlight. Chaos Space Marines are known for their desire to let the galaxy burn and wield profane weapons warped over millennia or crafted in infernal forges for just that purpose. The notorious Baleflamer has been... I've said I should do reading for Games Workshop in the past. The notorious Baleflamer has been the bane of heavy infantry since Helldrake's first Dark in the Skies. Apart from it hasn't, because no one takes a Helldrake. And it returns more reliable than ever with more shots and the new ability to ignore cover.
Right, okay, right. I haven't seen the rules on this, but... Currently, it's toilet.
So ignores cover is a big deal because flame weapons should have always ignored cover.
Always, yeah, 100%.
It's got torrent, which means it auto hits.
Yeah, because flamer.
12-inch range. It's not a Helldrake that can fly, right? So I would assume it can move like 20 inches.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. D6 plus 3. Ballistic skill NA because it's torrent, so it auto hits.
Yeah.
Strength 6.
Yeah.
-1, 2 damage.
Toilet.
I don't think it's that bad. Torrent. Weapons with a torrent ability in their profile known as torrent weapons. Each time an attack is made with such a weapon, that attack automatically hits target. I actually think that's okay.
Right, okay. So if it was D6...
D6 plus 3 is a minimum 4 damage.
Minimum of 4.
Minimum 4 auto hits, Joe.
If that was on a Dreadnought or like a Terminator or something, I'd be like, it's cool. But this is a giant metal dragon, all right? It should be putting out more than 4 shots.
I think, to be fair, I think we would need to see the aircraft rules before I could actually judge. Is it going to be an aircraft, or is it going to be like, how's it going to work? Once I know those rules, I know how good that might or might not be.
Yeah.
And the addition for this will be how good its feet are. If its feet are decent in combat as well, it's a well-rounded flyer.
I will adjust my opinion now. If it's good in combat, then that's fine as a complementary weapon.
I want it tearing things with a fly keyword out of the sky.
Right, these things are used in space. These things are used in space to combat other enemy flyers in space, right? So the gun is meh, but if it flies up to stuff like a Mauler Fiend or hits like one of these, then I would be like, yes, I want 3.
Picks it up like an angry golden eagle. Yeah, right. Likewise, the flesh metal guns that sprout from obliterators receive profile tweaks and a scattering of new weapon abilities to help each profile stand out even more for its specific job. Whether that's melting vehicles at close range or shredding hordes aplenty.
Okay.
And we have the monopose obliterator that still comes on a sprue.
The potato obliterator.
Flesh metal guns. Focused malice. Melter 2.
So that means
that within half range, it gains 2 extra damage.
Right, okay.
So it's 24-inch range.
Nice.
So within 12 inches, it gets plus 2 damage. D3 attacks, Ballistic Skill 3 plus, Strength 12, -3, 4 damage.
Oh, so it goes to 6 damage if it's in 12.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's how that works. Ruinous Salvo, which is a blast weapon. I don't know if they've shown us blast yet. 24-inch range, D6 attacks, Ballistic Skill 3 plus, Strength 8, -2, 2 damage.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, that's not bad.
That's all right.
And the Warp Hail with sustained hits once, exploding 6s.
Yeah.
24-inch range, D6 plus 3, Ballistic Skill 3 plus Strength 5, -1, 1 damage. But it explodes, exploding 6s. Okay. But you can put Exploding Sixes on Ruin a Salvo with a Dark Pact.
If they can take Dark Pact.
Yeah.
I imagine every squad can do Dark Pact.
Before selecting targets, we're going to select one of its profiles. Stratagem Spotlight. I love the way they do
Right, okay,
stratagems
so
now.
before we go into this bit, if they could do Dark Pacts with auto-wounding on 6s or exploding 6s, but that's what sustained hits is anyway.
Yeah, so that you would never put Exploding Sixes if you're using Warp Hail, but you could put it on Ruin a Salvo or Focus Malice potentially, but you could also put Devastating Wounds on any of them.
Yeah, so like Warp Hail would be really good versus Mass Gaunt, stuff like that.
Yeah. Stratagem Spotlight.
Okay.
So I will go as far as say that I absolutely adore the way they're laying stratagems out now.
Okay.
Really, really adore it. 5 of the 6 stratagems available to the Slave to Darkness detachment gain extra effects when targeting a unit blessed by one of the gods, or those devoted to Chaos Undevoted.
So,
All squads can take refuge behind unnerving warp omens with dark obscuration, for instance, but Nurgle blesses his faithful children with especially thick clouds of fetid fog obscuring their purposeful advance.
So a detachment gets six stratagems, but 5 of them are locked behind gods.
No.
5 of the 6 are...
No. You get access to 6 stratagems that you can use on anybody, but if you are dedicated to a certain god, you get an additional benefit.
I like that.
1 CP, when your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets, the target is one of your Heretic Astartes units from your army that was selected as a target for one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. The effect, until the end of the phase, your unit has the stealth ability. In addition, if your unit is a Nurgle unit, until the end of the phase, your unit can be selected. Your unit can only be selected as a target of ranged attacks of the attacking models within 12 inches. So that's not like you get this, but if you're Nurgle, you also get this.
I like that.
Yeah?
I'm a big fan of that one, actually.
So it's still 6 stratagems, but they're like layered buffs depending on what you.
Yeah.
That's a nicer way of just going, okay, so here's a stratagem for Nurgle that is completely useless to me because I don't have anything.
Yeah,
Nurgle.
the Nurgle one, which gives you transhuman,
Yeah.
is a bit annoying because you have to pay the points to do it. And they're doing a Night Lords and a Fabulous Bile.
How does one pledge themselves to a specific god and gain their boons exactly? That's also part of the detachment rule for Slaves to Darkness detachment, which makes it easier than ever before, but you'll need to wait to see the sinister details. The word from the studios is in black. Chaos Space Marines are hungry for power and destruction, and that's what inspired their army rule. Dark Pacts, explains Robin from the Warhammer Design Studio. Robin Credis, who's the chief rules writer for 40k.
Yeah.
With them, the Chaos Space Marines are granted a boon of power, but such power comes at a price. The Slaves to Darkness attachment further explores this relationship between the Heretic Astartes and the Chaos Gods, granting your forces different powers depending on their patron deity. The data sheets for Chaos Space Marines are less cooperative or synergistic than their Imperial counterparts. Rather, they are more about the selfish use of power to destroy their foes, which kind of leans into everything you've always said about Chaos Space Marines. It's kind of more Hero Hammer than a cohesive fighting force,
Yeah.
right? What do you think, Joe? How are we feeling?
I really like it. I think there's that random aspect. You get I really liked the old Chaos Boon table,
Yeah?
but I never had enough Chaos Spawn or Demon Princes, so I was always worried if I roll a 1/1 or 6 because then my character would die and I'd get rid of it. But I really like that fact that you can gamble
Yeah.
to get a bonus. If you fail, you take D3 mortal wounds. You're like,
But you've also got ways of countering it. If you
Yeah.
take an icon, you can re-roll it. If you take Abaddon and you pick a specific aura, you can re-roll it.
yeah. So you've got reasons to take icons and stuff.
Yeah.
I really like it.
I think-
Abaddon's an absolute house.
So
He's not as deadly as he was because he can be killed.
So he's less deadly, but we're talking about an edition where lethality is toned down anyway.
Yeah.
And also, if he isn't kept within range of a unit, he can be flattened very quickly,
Yeah.
potentially. But do you know what, right? I complained like hell about Angron's abilities when he came out and you had to pick one of 3. The only reason why I complained is because everybody else that came out before, you just got all of it.
Yeah.
If this is where they're going, where every character has access to one of 3 cool abilities, and you have to tactically pick one, that for me is a much better place
It also
for those
makes
characters to be.
it makes it a bit more of a tactical game in the sense of I need to do this turn, this turn. If you pick badly, you can get punished for it because if things don't go right, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's really good.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. I think I would have liked the Bale Flamer on the Helldrake to maybe be strength 7 -2 damage, just because I feel like if you're bathing things in demon fire, it should maybe be better than what is a slightly stronger heavy flamer.
I'm happy with the profile because it's just fire. it's the number of shots. Like, I've always felt like tanks, especially, that have massive tanks of flammable liquid on the back of them and these hugely powerful guns. Like, yes, currently now it's minimum 3 shots, and that one is going to be minimum 4. But I'd rather it just be 6 shots. Just a flat number of shots. Because it's a more reliable kind of breathy thing.
So I like the random nature of stuff in 40k because I think it helps tell the story and tell the narrative. And I like swingy dice rolls because it can make some really fun moments between you and an opponent where, oh my god, I've only rolled 1, I've only got 4, or oh my god, I've rolled 6, I've got all 9. So I actually really like the randomness of it.
Or if they'd made it 3d3. So it's always going to be minimum 3. The maximum is still 9.
Oh, okay.
But you've got higher. You're guaranteed.
Your average is higher.
Your average is higher then.
I get it. But even now, right? Is it higher though? 3d3, right? Your average is 6.
Yeah.
Right. D6 plus 3, your average is 6.5 mathematically.
Yeah. I guess I just don't. My issue is I like the Helldrake aesthetically. As we discussed, I hate painting them, but they're just one of those units that historically. You're just not taking because they're just not worth it. I want it. I can't. Right, this is one of those. It's not as good as I expected it to be in my head. Right, kind of situations. I just want it to be cool.
But if it's slightly worse than you expected, but everything else is looking really cool and fun.
Yeah.
And remember, chat. Right, remember. This is the detachment rule that will come out with Chaos Space Marines. I've seen this a lot. Right, this is something that's really starting to fucking grind my gears. Right. The detachment rules they're showcasing is one detachment rule that you'll get when your army's indexed.
Yeah.
Which is already more than you got when you were indexed in fucking 8th edition. And everyone goes, we should have indexed like 8th edition. Well, they're doing that and giving you more rules. Yeah. So you're getting a better index than you had in 8th edition.
Or people are like, oh, Space Marines just look so much better than Tyranids.
Guess what? It's Games Workshop. So do you know what? They're going to want to sell you codexes. Yeah. So if you think this one detachment is your only detachment and army-wide ability for the whole of 9th edition, then take your head for a wobble. Honestly, they're going to drop a codex and you're going to get 5, 6, 7 more detachments minimum, I reckon.
Yeah.
And they're all going to have... So this one, you've got... I don't know whether if Dark Packs is specific to just that particular detachment, but you can imagine there'll be another detachment that will give you other things.
Yeah.
Or there'll be like 5 or 6 attachments that give you other abilities. Stop panicking that, this is the only way they're showing me the Chaos Space Marines can play. This is going to be awful. It will, if you don't like it, it will be awful until they drop your codex, granted.
Yeah.
But they're going to give you more options. They're going to give you more flavour. It's just making me angry, Joe.
Yeah. Do you know what's coming tomorrow?
Necrons. I thought it was Necrons tomorrow.
I think it's Blood Angels tomorrow.
There's a roadmap they put online, isn't there? I thought it was Necrons tomorrow.
I forget things easily, though.
Big shout out Nordost and John McCardle for gifting more memberships, taking us to a total of 89, 11 away from the 100, and only 4 minutes to go before we turn the stream off. Just saying, people, 11. You can do it. Saying Jimmy, thank you for the 5. He joins units and gives out the aura. It means that his unit extends the aura because the leader and retinue considers one unit guest. No. So I would have agreed with you if it wasn't specifically stated under the aura ability from range of this model.
Yeah.
So it doesn't say from range of this unit, it says from range of this model.
Yeah.
So he will, I think you're right, he joins a unit, but he will still only give out an aura 6 inches from in range of that model, which again means if you put him at the front of a unit of 10 Chaos Space Marine Terminators all looped round, assuming coherency is the thing where you have to be within 2 inches of 2 models, you're going to significantly reduce how many things can touch his aura because of things like coherency. You could then scale the unit that he's with right down so that you get more aura, but then he's got less bodyguard.
Yeah, but that's just ablative wounds, aren't they? Really?
They are ablative wounds, but they've also stated that if his bodyguard dies, that's him done. Like, he can't join another unit.
Oh, okay.
So bodyguards, when you pick, this was in the previous article, when you pick a unit for a character to join at the start of the battle, that is his bodyguard unit. Once the bodyguard is removed, he operates on his own from that point onwards. He can't join another unit. So it's not like you can put him with 5 Chaos Space Marines, they die, I'm going to go 5 more Chaos Space Marines, they die, now I'm walking with 5 Terminators.
Do you know what that does mean, though? I get to convert up a cool squad of Terminator bodyguards.
You get to make a personal bodyguard for Abaddon. What I really hope is he can just join Terminators.
Or Chosen.
Okay, chosen makes sense narratively.
Yeah,
Okay.
narrative, because he's got a bodyguard of like elite fighter men to go with it. Yeah, Terminators or chosen, nothing else.
Yeah. So that's my belief, Tyler, as to how it works. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But I think that's how it's going to work. Because it literally, the aura says, within 6 inches of this model specifically.
Yeah,
if that aura said within 6 inches of this unit, I'd be like, that's a janky interaction. Because when he joins the squad, he becomes part of the unit, right?
I need to get some I need to get some just there and report.
Zin25, thank you for the 5. Lone operative was on Gilliman's sheet. Abaddon is going to join Terminators most likely. Yeah, cool. Happy with it, right? Go for it, Peyton says hello. Hello. And then Tyler comes in with the 5 gifted memberships.
Big dog.
Big dog. And then Starius comes in with a 10.
Poor lad.
Yeah. I can't believe how often Starius tells me about how excited he is for 10th edition.
Yeah? This is just like 10th edition, 10th edition.
It's all he will talk
literally
about.
phone you in the middle of the night.
Permanently hype about 10th edition.
Yeah.
He said he's never been so excited for an edition ever before in his life.
Good on you, Starius.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. I appreciate the positivity.
Yeah. Despite what the people say. You're a lovely guy.
104 new members on a Liam and Joe show.
104. Right, nobody gift tonight.
I mean,
I want to
it's
give
a bad business model, that, Joe.
I want to give members back. We're like, Eddie is so terrible. We've had to give you members back, and then when he goes, we'll never get him again.
Thank you so much. I think
you all.
They will try and avoid mixed toughness units, John. I agree with you. I think they will as well, which is why I don't think he'll be able to join.
T5, isn't he?
Yeah, so I don't think he'll be able to join Heretic Astartes.
No, yeah, because they said that they were bumping Terminators up, weren't they? The current Space Marine ones are
T5.
T5.
So he'll be able to join Terminators, I reckon.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And I like the idea of avoiding mixed toughness units as well. All in all joking aside, because Darius has actually said that he's not that excited for 10th edition. I've seen some other comments. I think Weeman put a comment on last night saying he's currently not feeling the 10th edition hype. I get it. I am enjoying almost everything that I read right now.
Yeah.
And I think that it won't be perfect. I think it won't be absolutely flawless from the start. I am mildly concerned as to how many statements Games Workshop have made about simplified, not simpler. We're reducing rerolls, we're reducing that, we're reducing everything. But so far, there aren't that many changes that I've seen that I really don't like.
Yeah, I like. Obviously,
they've just. The thing is with a company like Games Workshop, the second they say we're massively reducing rerolls, everyone's going to overquote them and hold them to that. So the second they showcase rerolls, they're going, well, you said you're going to do no you said you're doing no rerolls. That's not what they said. I'm not enjoying how many rerolls I'm seeing.
So currently on that page, Legionnaires get rerolls.
To wound in melee.
To wound in melee.
Of 1, unless they're on an objective that it's all rerolls.
Yeah.
And then Abaddon gives out full rerolls to hit.
Like you might find that maybe Lords might give out rerolls.
But Abaddon gives I don't think they will. Lords will join a unit and give a buff to that unit only.
Yeah.
So in terms of the auras, unless you have Abaddon, you're probably not having almost definitely not having full reroll to hit aura within 6 inches.
If I was a gambling man, I would argue that still Eldar only get rerolls in the form of Doom and Guide.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Like Abaddon having that 6-inch aura whilst also joining a unit, it's not the worst. He could no longer go to a unit. You reroll hits and wounds.
I mean, Legionnaires will still be able to do it if they're on an objective.
What's interesting, if he picks that, is he is also a Heretic Astartes model within 6 inches of himself, so that will give himself reroll hits as well.
Oh, that's not bad.
Which, if you then put... Oh my fuck. So if you then do a Dark Pact with him, right, and you put Exploding Sixes, Sustained Hits 1 on Drachnai, and you pick the reroll all hits for him, you've got 8 attacks, roll to hit, pick out anything that's not 6s, reroll all of them, they're Exploding Sixes. And then you go through to reroll to rolling wounds, and you've got Devastating Wounds on as well. It's pretty tasty. It's not bad. There's some little jank there, but it's not as bad as Abaddon gives himself reroll all hits and wounds. It's not that bad, right? Yeah, exactly. And then he bats the Imperial Knight out of the room.
Yeah.
You know? Ziggy, thank you. Oh no, sorry, Starius, thank you for the 5. For once, I don't hate today's article. That's good, man. I'm glad. I'm hoping there's some stuff that you start to enjoy because I am so from what I heard and saw at the weekend, I'm so pro 10th right now. And I don't think it's going to be perfect. I get that. But people yesterday. So here's another thing, right? They showcased yesterday the Rupture Cannon. Right?
Yeah.
Which is 2d6 damage. Okay? And people complained because they were comparing it to the Repulsor Executioner with its big Chumbawamba gun.
Yeah.
Right? Which is d6 plus 4 damage or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, how come that one's more reliable than my Tyranid? Like,
it's a giant fleshy beast firing out of a big gas bag.
If they, first of all, they have no idea what the points difference between the two beasts are. They have no idea what a Repulsor's points are or a Rupture Cannon's points are to start with. But secondly, if every single codex was a copy and paste of the stats from every other codex with a slightly different name, you go, oh, We're all playing the same army. This is boring. So give them a break, people.
But
Ziggy,
you'll probably find then if in terms of like army design, if the big laser cannon is really high strength, really high like flat damage, right? It's probably because there aren't that many massive, really high strength flat damage weapons within Space Marines.
Yeah, because
Tyranids are lots of heavy weapons.
But we've also seen Screamer Killers been showcased that were strength 6. They're now like strength 12 or 14.
Yeah.
Right. So okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So your rupture cannon might not do as much damage as a fucking repulsor executioner.
But you have access to more big, heavy hitting units.
Possibly.
Well, you've got to think like Space Marines have some tanks, dreadnoughts, and then mainly all infantry army. NIDS, you can do an entire army of monstrous creatures. You need to balance that damage output out. Okay.
Yeah.
So you won't get lots of high damage in one place. You'll get lots of medium damage everywhere.
Ziggy, thank you for the 10. Apparently, Joe, it looks like Warhammer Fest isn't the end, right? Apparently, Leviathan is going to be a limited edition box launch set, but it's okay. They're implementing a queue system on the pre-orders. I can only see this going badly. I mean, they might be the master.
Right, we said a couple of weeks ago that Games Workshop needs to implement a queue system on their website to stop scalpers.
Joe, I would love to, if I could be fucking bothered, or if I had the time, I would love to go back through a lot of our streams over the course of the last 6 months and things that we've said we wanted to see, and then look at the 10th edition rule sets and things that they're doing and be like, I used to joke quite a lot when I used to stand and be like, GW's watching, GW listening to me. And then there's a little part of me nowadays that's going,
maybe they are.
Are they actually?
Someone sat there with a notepad and pen. The thing is, though, I would rather have a queue system on a limited release item than have to fight people on eBay for something and have to spend through the nose. If I buy something on Games Workshop website, knowing it's going to come because I bought it on a queue system, I would be much more happy doing that than it being sold out and then going on eBay or looking on Facebook and someone's gone, there's people selling box sets for £500. We're like, no, I've got my queue. I know it's coming. I know it's going to arrive.
I'll be honest.
I don't have to fight people for it.
And the Tyranid, going back to the Tyranid rules as well, like I actually am quite excited for them. The Shadow and the Warp ability is cool. Did you see that? Once per battle, you can enact Shadow and the Warp.
You can force people to do
every single unit in your opponent's army takes a battle shock test.
That could be savage.
When you've got a battle shock test, your objective control goes to 0.
Yeah.
If you fall out of combat, you must make a desperate breakout test.
Yeah.
And you cannot be the target of any stratagems. That's amazing, and it's narratively fucking cool as well. Anyway,
and now the synapses, you do a leadership on 3d6 instead of 2d6, which I really like because before it used to be just auto pass.
Yeah.
Whereas now you still have to roll the test because they're still smart creatures. They're like, maybe running away is the right idea.
I like it. I think it's a cool role. Anyway, on the Omnissiah Sphinx, what special weapons would you put on Astra troops and heavy weapons team on top of the mortars team for casual play?
Now
that's really hard to answer.
Unless you've got like 9 teams and you give them all 3 of each, I wouldn't bother. I'd wait. I'd wait until at least there's a Warhammer community article saying, but I love heavy bolters. I think they're cool.
Special weapons on Astra Militarum, I've always loved flamers.
Yeah.
And now they're going to get Ignore's cover as well. They're pretty cool.
I would argue, think about what that role of that weapon plays within the unit and assume it will continue to do that role in the new edition.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a dedicated anti-tank unit? Take Melter. If you want to do anti-elite infantry, plasma.
Last cannons for Space Marines were showcased at strength 12, so last cannons for Astra Militarum could be really cool now. Last cannon squads and stuff like that. So I don't like I always, one of the other things why I'm feeling quite positive is quite often I'm looking at these weapons and going, I'm not sure if there's an obvious choice, which is actually really good. For infantry, special weapons wise, I really like flamers because flamers now gaining Ignore's cover is, I think, going to be a bigger deal.
Good, yeah.
So on the whole, I think you could. To be fair, we don't know when 10th is coming, and so I don't know how long you're going to have to wait, but I'd imagine it won't be too long.
Yeah.
Anyway, good morning, Elijah. I'm sorry, we're about to disappear. I'm dying for a wee-wee. We have to start getting ready for tonight. We've got to start ready for Eddie turning up in 50 minutes, Joe. And we need to go to the shop and get some dinner.
No.
Thank you so much to everybody who hung out with us today. Don't forget to check out tonight's stream at 7:30 for Chat Plays, where we are literally just going to mess around for an evening because we are so excited about 10th edition. We can talk a little bit more about today's releases if you really want to, but ultimately I think the intent probably is just to torture Eddie. Yeah, Joe's on the deck. Joe's managing because you guys voted yesterday for me to have to play him. Thanks, you fuckers.
Yeah.
So Joe's going to be on the deck, coming up with random rules and obliterating us. Hopefully mostly obliterating Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been mulling over some ideas. I need to like physically write them down.
Okay. Well, my chaos list is Angron, Mortari.
Are you taking chaos?
No. I was going to take Angron, Mortari, and Magnus and
I
Abaddon.
think you should take a Chaos Army. Narratively, it might fit with.
Last night, chat said Votan.
Slotan.
Yeah, but we'll see.
You
I don't
can
know
take
yet.
Votan if you want.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out with us. You people are all amazing. If you have been gifted a membership, !Discord, come and join us on the Great Hall server. If you want to know what the Great Hall server is all about and you've not been gifted a membership, !member, become a member. There's also links all in the video description below, including all of our channel sponsors. You guys are amazing. Again, like I said yesterday, if you did come and say hello to Joe or I over the weekend, thank you so much for coming and being awesome and speaking to us and telling us about what you like and the fact that you don't like Eddie and all that. Like, it makes us feel better.
Yeah.
It was genuinely very humbling.
Yeah, it was really nice. I actually got to spend a lot of time with Liberty Fires.
Yeah, he's a
on
dude.
the weekend. He was there
He's a
on the
dude.
weekend, and he helped me carry things like my slave, my
Yeah.
camel.
Yeah.
He's a good lad though. Good lad.
Yeah, and your posture. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye bye. Love you long time.